Huge drama in the Ontario business, baby. We had ourselves a rivalry game, the Battle of Ontario, Toronto versus Ottawa, and we've got some drama, folks. Now, by the time you're watching this video, you already know what happened. You've seen this clip 1,000 times. What I wanted to do was go out there and just kind of get it back down to the basics. Because my timeline, if I click the little home button right here on the top left in my Twitter, every single gosh darn tweet is about this moment. Ridley Greig coming in on a breakaway with the empty net, burying the puck with a slap shot, and then getting pummeled with a cross-check from Morgan Rielly after the fact. This has been incredible to watch from an entertainment point of view. And not even talking about the logistics, the legality, the slap shot, the cross-check, whatever. Just from a fan's entertainment point of view, this may be the hottest thing that has happened all year. And it comes at the demise of Ridley Greig's head after he took the slap shot. But either way, the Ottawa Senators, big win, 5-3, and they take down the Toronto Maple Leafs in their building. It's an emotional, rivalry-filled win. But, as I had said, this entire thing has boiled over, and the conversations on social media are crazy. Sheldon Keefe, he said that he didn't have an issue with what Morgan Rielly did. John Tavares was asked about whether or not he's ever seen a slap shot on an empty net goal, and he said no. This thing right here is a pretty disrespectful and taunting move. So, when it comes to a lot of the perspectives, I mean, we're seeing Morgan Rielly did the right thing. A lot of Leafs fans are going out there and saying that it was appropriate. The way Rielly responded was warranted because this entire thing, the part of our history, it's a Canadian heritage moment, slap shot on the empty net breakaway, that's kind of crazy. This is the Big Head Leafs Twitter account going out there and making a satirical post. Rielly gave Greig a deserved response. This is what ex-NHLers are saying. Claude Giroux says no comment on what Greig did. Journalists and writers are saying that Rielly should be gone for 5+ games. It tells you something, doesn't it? And what Big Head Leafs is insinuating with this tweet is that the writers and the journalists don't really have a common perspective that is shared with the player base when it comes to handling things like this. Because there's no question about it. Slapshotting an empty net breakaway opportunity, that's disrespectful. But, as Thomas Drance so eloquently pointed out, I want slapshots into empty nets after emotional wins. That's hilarious. The hostile reaction to it is also expected and fine. The beef and drama make hockey great. But at the same time, you can't use your stick with intent to cause harm to an opponent above the shoulders. It must be a suspension every time. Even Jeff Veillette, who does stuff for the Toronto scene, yep, find taunt goal, find the respawn. Both those teams make rivalries fun. You just can't do it with sticks to the face like that. Feels like an open and shut case, one that will fuel 72 hours worth of histrionic takes. Even Rachel Dory went out there and said, yeah, I have no issue with what Morgan Rielly did. You can't say the Leafs are soft and get mad when players do that. He could have lowered the stick, sure, but if you take a half clapper into an empty net, you gotta expect a response is coming, especially in a rivalry game. Now, that's part of the thing as well. I think when it comes to Greig's response, he wasn't really ready for it. Like, Morgan Rielly's coming up to you, you just slap shot it into an empty net. What are you expecting, dude? Rielly's not going to come over here give you a hug. He's going to do something to you, and it's not going to be, you know, sunshines and rainbows. So the thing is, when it comes to my perspective on this entire thing, slapshotting into an empty net, I get it. It's disrespectful. It's not cool. But that not cool makes it cool. It makes it entertaining and it makes it fun. If an Ottawa Senators fan was tuning in to this game live in the arena, this moment, these are what dreams are made of. This is the hypest moment of the year. That's excitement. And the response, of course, the fact that Morgan Rielly responded and got up in Ridley Greig's face, that's cool too. There's a code to follow, right? Ex-NHL players are saying they love it. They're saying that Rielly did the right thing. Leafs fans are saying Rielly did the right thing. Yeah, you stand up for your team. You stand up for your guys. You stand up for the integrity of the game. But still, you can't be doing it like this. That is the no-no. And I'm not going to go out there and say that Morgan Rielly regrets it or that the Maple Leafs should not have seen something like this happen. I mean, Sheldon Keefe said it was fine. Leafs fans are saying it's fine. Nobody's saying that this act of going out there and challenging Greig was the wrong move, but the way he did it was a little bit suspicious and it could be suspendable. That's it. Drance has a pretty good take on it, and I kind of like this. You know, I rarely agree with Drance. Just kidding. I agree with Drance quite a lot. It's just he's such a villain in the Vancouver media scene that it becomes hard to face facts sometimes when he goes out there and spits it. But this is part of what makes hockey so fun, right? These things, not great, not respectful, not appropriate, but they're still allowed. You can slap shot an empty net breakaway, and that makes the game fun. But you're going to have to get a response. That's what happened to Ridley Greig. Morgan Rielly's response just happened to be with his stick near the face. So we'll see how much Rielly gets suspended for. I feel like there's this sort of idea floating around social media that says, oh, because Rielly committed this suspendable foul in response to an act that in itself was disrespectful, that kind of in a way reduces the severity of what Rielly's suspension should be, and I disagree with that. I think that just because Ridley Greig did a super disrespectful thing, it doesn't make what Rielly did better. You know, like, there's a difference between understandable and justifiable, right? Like, the reason why something happens should not be a reason for it to get punished with impunity. Do you get kind of what I'm saying here? Like, not everything is black and white. There's nuance to these situations. There's a lot of nuance, especially. So when it comes to the way the player safety department is going to handle this Rielly thing, I have no idea what the verdict is going to be. You can toss your guesses out there. I mean, there are so many people saying so many things on Twitter about this entire situation. And look, if he gets like 2 games, okay, I think that's something that most people would be okay with. If he gets 5 games or beyond, I honestly think that's appropriate, but at the same time, I don't know how the fans are going to react. Like, people are going to be pissed off if he gets that much, but at the same time, I mean, what? Look at the factors on paper. If you ignore the Ridley Greig goal, Morgan Rielly with 5 seconds left to go in a dead play because the goal was scored, so there's no more play going on. 5 seconds to go in a regulation game, you're losing 5-3, the guy just scored, and you do this at the end of it. Like, that's pretty suspendable, you know? Take away the disrespect that Ridley Greig infused in this situation by taking the slap shot in the first place. Morgan Rielly probably could get suspended for this, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did. So even if he does, I'm not thinking that he's going to go out there and regret this. I don't think anybody on the Leafs is going to say that he did the wrong thing. It's just the way in which he challenged this idea was, unfortunately, in a suspendable manner, with a cross-check to the face, and in a position where Ridley Greig honestly had it coming. Now, he wasn't prepared, which made it worse, but yeah, right? There's a lot of nuance to this situation. You can't be thinking in black and white with these things. It's not good or bad. It's, okay, this part of the thing is good, but that part of the same thing was also not great, but this other part is fine, but it's also disrespectful at the same time. Like, there are so many things you can break down, and that's why I love this job, because we get to talk and dissect things in a very intricate manner like this. So I swear, if I refresh my Twitter feed, the next few tweets are going to be about this Rielly thing. I swear. Look at this. Daniel Alfredson watching Ridley Greig do something that completely unravels the Leafs fan base. That's funny. Ay, ay, ay. Next time someone tells you that Sportsnet isn't a Leafs home broadcast, remember that Morgan Rielly just gave a leaping cross-check to the head of someone with no time left in the game, and the broadcast is criticizing a Ridley Greig slap shot on an empty net. Ay, ay, ay. There's a lot going on here, dude. Social media is set ablaze. Thoughts in the comment section below about this Ridley Greig, Morgan Rielly situation. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.